I no longer want to be intimate with my wife, nor with anyone else. She killed my sexual desire. I will try to summarize the situation as briefly as possible. We are both 29 years old and have been married for 5 years. Intensively, throughout our marriage, we have had sexual intimacy problems. The main ones were that I was the only one responsible for starting sex and that my wife constantly rejected my insinuations. At the beginning of the relationship, I tried to start sex about 10 times a month, and on average, I was rejected about 8 times. It was really exhausting to be rejected all the time, and it severely affected my self-esteem. We talk about this many times. We probably had a conversation every 2 months for 2 years. We tried many things, but nothing happened. About 6 months ago, I collapsed. I don't know what it was, but it was like the straw that broke the camel's back. My wife gave me positive signs all day long, indicating that she wanted to have sex. I mustered the courage to try to start in the way she had suggested in all our conversations. Rejected again. This simply destroyed me. After my wife went to sleep, I remember crying in the bathroom for an hour. The next day I stayed home alone, so I decided to clean up. I ended up finding 2 things that solidified my decision. A box of condoms I had on my bedside table. More than half of the box was still there, and they were expired. The other thing was lingerie I had bought for my wife more than a year earlier, and that I had never seen her use before. I threw both things away, and I decided at that moment that I no longer wanted to have sex with her. Things have had ups and downs in the last 6 months. I ended up taking antidepressants, which helped me a lot with how I felt, and also greatly reduced my sexual desire, which I considered positive. In the last 6 months, we have not had sex. We haven't even talked about sex once. Last weekend was quite good. Honestly, we had the whole weekend to ourselves and spent all the time together. I don't remember the last time we had so much fun together. Sunday night arrived, and in a surprising turn of events, my wife asked me if I wanted to have sex later. I simply said no. Then she became visibly annoyed and asked me why. This made me feel extremely uncomfortable. It is never something that, in the hundreds of times she rejected me, she has asked after rejecting any kind of intimacy. I did not respond for a minute and then said, I don't think I want to have sex ever again. This bothered her even more, and she went to bed. Since then, she has not spoken much with me. I feel a little bad about what I said, but I do not regret it because it is true. I was in such a miserable place for so long, and I never want to be there again. Am I the bad guy in this situation?